Trespass works by telling me that I can't go back, and if I go back, then you can ID me. Until that point, you can't ID me.
Sir, you working today? Hey, can you come out and look at this guy wants to supervise here? Well, the people at Cinnamon Perry want to trespass, and he's out here reporting me, and you know, 41, sovereign citizen.
Oh, I'm a sovereign citizen, huh? Because I refuse to give you ID? Because you won't tell me under what under Title 34? You won't tell me what condition under Title 34? You're busy with me, yet you're not going to go chase him down for
well, if I wasn't dealing with you...
Well, you know what? And you don't have to deal with me.
Well,
so am I being detained? Am I being detained? Am I being detained?
As of right now, yeah.
What's your name and badge number?
Officer Agassiz, number 50.
LaPorte City Police Department?
City Police Department.
Under what am I being detained for?
I just told you. They want you to trespass from there because you were over there.
Okay. Okay, so I won't go back over there. Now.
I'm getting a supervisor like you requested.
Okay, so if we don't need anything else, then I'll be on my way.
No, you're not done. We're not done here.
Why am I not done?
We're not done here.
Alright guys, welcome back. Because today's video is a perfect example of how authority can go completely off the rails when ego replaces the law. What you're about to see is a police officer who believes that receiving a phone call magically grants him new powers, powers that simply do not exist. Instead of understanding the law, this officer jumps straight into intimidation mode, demanding identification without legal grounds, and attempting to detain a citizen who has committed absolutely no crime. This isn't about public safety. This isn't about order. This is about control. From the very first moments, the officer assumes guilt, ignores basic legal standards, and treats constitutional rights like optional suggestions. And before this escalates any further, remember to like the video and drop a comment, because public accountability starts with public attention. What unfolds next is a textbook example of why knowing your rights isn't optional. It's essential.
Why am I not done?
Because I need your identification.
You're not getting it. Unless you give me a reason under Title 34, you're not getting my ID. You're not getting my ID, I guarantee it. What you will get is a lawsuit, not my ID. That's exactly what you'll get.
I'm recording you as well. Just so
I know you are.
I'm recording.
That's fine.
I'm gonna go sit in my car until my supervisor gets here.
Okay. So am I still being detained even though you're in your car?
I want you to stay in the area until my supervisor gets here.
So am I being detained though? Is that official detainment?
Yeah, you're not free to
I'm
leave.
just asking you. That's what if I'm not free to leave, I'll stay here. I don't care. You can go sit in your car and I'll stay right here. I just wanted to know since you're going back to your car. That's not normal. That's not standard procedure. So I just wanted to know because I have no problem staying here. That's just weird that you're going to go back to your car, you know?
When you bored, you gotta like grab EMS and someone that just lost a family member.
Okay.
You're over there like recording there on their property.
I'm not recording on their property.
Okay, so they want you to trespass from there.
I'm not recording on their property.
Because I want everybody to see this.
Okay.
All right, you were over there harassing somebody that just lost a family member.
But I wasn't.
EMS.
I wasn't. Okay, so let's walk down here to the edge of the building. Let me show you this. Let me show you this. Let's go to the edge of the building and I'm going to show you this. I didn't even walk past the alleyway. I didn't even walk past the alleyway. I have it on video. If you search me to get my identity.
Now listen carefully, because this is where things start to get ugly. The officer claims that a trespass complaint somehow gives him authority to detain and demand ID, except that's not how trespassing works at all. No lawful trespass order had been issued, no crime was observed, no reasonable suspicion existed. Yet the officer presses forward, repeatedly refusing to explain the legal basis for the detention while demanding compliance anyway. This is the same tired playbook we see over and over: vague accusations, invented authority, and the hope that the citizen doesn't know better. When asked the most basic question, "Am I being detained?" the officer stalls. I deflects and eventually admits the detention without explaining why. That's not policing, that's fishing. And when challenged to cite the actual statute authorizing the demand for ID, the response is silence, frustration, and threats instead of facts.
You're going to have a lawsuit. I will not give you an ID unless you give me a reason under Title 34 to have it. That's the only way you're getting it.
All right.
Because you cannot trespass me from a public sidewalk.
Yes, I can. You weren't on a public
You can trespass me from a public sidewalk? Go. You know what? Go fuck yourself, dude. You cannot do that.
And the person lost a family member saying you were on the property.
I wasn't on the property. A lot of people think if I show you the video, then will you arrest them for false informing? If I show you the video, will you arrest them for false informing?
Sure, go ahead. I'm not going to arrest them, but I'd like to see the video.
You're not going to arrest them for false informing if I show you the video. It is, because they lied they lied and said that I was on their property.
You know the IC code for false information.
You know what? You better find out the IC code, not only about that, but also about IDing before you decide to do anything stupid today. Yeah. And then when we're done here, I'm gonna go back over there, and if they're outside, and I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna take pictures of every single one of them out there. I'm gonna run them through facial recognition software. I'm gonna find out who they are, and then I'm gonna make sure they're prosecuted for false informing. Since you're not gonna do that, no, because I'm gonna take the pictures from over here.
So you're gonna harass somebody that just lost.
I'm not harassing nobody. They're harassing me because I did nothing to them. They're harassing me.
The lady's literally on the spot.
They're calling and false informing to harass.
And this is where the mask really slips. Rather than de-escalating, the officer doubles down, refusing to let the citizen leave, while openly admitting there's no investigation underway. The demand for ID becomes less about law enforcement and more about ego. When the citizen asserts his rights, the officer responds with hostility, sarcasm, and thinly veiled threats of retaliation. This isn't a misunderstanding, it's deliberate. The officer repeatedly ignores video evidence, refuses to acknowledge public sidewalk protections. A man treats lawful filming as harassment simply because it makes him uncomfortable. Worse, accusations are taken at face value from third parties without verification, while the citizen's video proof is dismissed outright. This is how rights get violated in real time. Not through dramatic arrests, but through quiet abuses of authority that most people are too intimidated to challenge.
You're like crying because she just lost her father, and you're over there harassing.
I did nothing. I simply walked up there to the edge of the alleyway. I walked up to the edge of the alleyway, and I invited you over to the edge of the building so I could point over there and show you right where I was. I walked. You don't give a fuck. That's the problem. You really don't care. You don't care. So I walked up to the edge of the alleyway, and I stood there. And they said, well, what are you doing? I said, filming anything I can see from public view. That was it. Because I walked around the corner from the old hospital building, seeing an ambulance there. That was it. So I walked up to the edge of the alleyway. That's exactly what was said. And then I said, and then she told me, fuck you. And I said, congratulations, you're exercising your rights just like I am mine. That was the whole conversation. That was all that was said. End of story. Literally less than 60 seconds later, I walked away and came this way. I didn't even go past the edge of the alleyway. That's exactly how it happened. I have video proof of it. There was no harassment whatsoever. You need to learn the IC code for harassment too, by the way.
I know the IC code for harassment.
Okay. Huh?
That is not harassment.
Exactly. And that's what I'm telling you, man. I'm not trying to give you a hard time. I'm just explaining to you that all I'm out here doing is a constitutionally protected activity. I did not harass her. That's literally all that was said, man. That's literally it. And you riled up this conversation like this.
No, I came up real nice, asking who you are, what you're doing, what's up.
Okay, and I was on the phone with my wife, and I was nice enough to get off the phone with her.
As the confrontation drags on, we see a familiar pattern, shifting goalposts. First it's trespass, then harassment, then vague emotional appeals meant to justify unlawful actions. None of it holds up under scrutiny. The citizen clearly explains his movements, staying within public access areas, never crossing property boundaries, and disengaging within seconds. There's no harassment, no trespass, no crime. Yet the officer refuses to accept reality because doing so would mean admitting he was wrong. Instead, lawful recording is framed as malicious behavior, and constitutional activity is treated like provocation. This is the dangerous part, when officers stop enforcing the law and start enforcing feelings. The law doesn't care about embarrassment, irritation, or pride. It cares about facts. And here, the facts are not on the officer's side.
So I can have a conversation with you.
Yeah.
Okay?
So here's the thing. It's equivalent to, like, if I come on your property, you have every...
But I didn't go on anybody's property. I was on the sidewalk.
And it's equivalent to me. Like, if you come on my property, I have the right to trespass you.
Correct. But I didn't go on the property. I was on this public sidewalk, man. I didn't even go past the alleyway. It's on video. It's on video. Video weighs up more than anything.
That, you never showed me the video. You continue to record.
No, because you told me that you're not going to arrest them for false informing.
Well, no, that's because it's not false informing.
It is. For them to lie, and say that, then it's false informing, man.
What's up, boss?
How you doing, man?
What's going on?
Yeah. What's your name, badge number?
I'm Officer Gonzalez.
Okay, you a sergeant? Shift.
Specialist. What's up, man?
Oh, okay. So check this out, man. So I'm just walking down this way. I went in front of the old hospital building there, and I turned around the corner, seen there was an ambulance there with its lights on. and I couldn't see anything else past what was going on with it. I wasn't sure if there was like a crash or something like that. So I walked down that way. I didn't even go past the alleyway.
Right.
Name and badge number, please.
Dyer, 14.
You a sergeant, or? I'm explaining that right now. Okay, cool. So I'm walking this way in front of the hospital building, walk around the corner, and seeing that there was an ambulance with its lights on. Couldn't see anything past it. Figured maybe there was a crash or something. Went to walk down. I didn't even get past the alleyway. I know.
When a supervisor finally enters the scene, the narrative begins to crack. Calm explanations replace accusations, and suddenly the situation looks very different. The citizen explains, again, what happened, where he stood, and why the claims against him don't add up. And notice this. Once facts are laid out clearly, the aggressive posture disappears. No arrest, no citation. No ID demand backed by law. Just quiet retreat. This is why documentation matters. This is why recording matters. Without video, this would have been written off as officer discretion. Instead, it's exposed as overreach. The moment authority is forced to confront evidence instead of assumptions, the power imbalance collapses. And that's exactly why these encounters are so important to share.
I noticed that there wasn't any crash or anything, so I was just about to turn around and come back this way. And this is ridiculous at this point. Now you're triggering my PTSD, and we're gonna have problems. Okay, so yes, please, okay, because I don't want that to happen. Okay.
Say whatever. I'm not talking about it.
All right, so sir, do you want me to explain this to you, or?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, so when I get down there and notice that there was no crash, then I went ahead and was about to come this way. She says to me, "What are you doing?" I said, "Filming anything I can see from public view." Okay, and then
Who asked you that?
A girl that was sitting over there.
Like a random girl? Was she like a police officer? Or was she like...
No, she's just a girl that was sitting there. Okay, so she asked me what I was doing. I just said, "Filming anything I can see from public view." I didn't even walk past the alleyway. I was still on the public sidewalk.
Yeah.
And then she tells me that the next thing she tells me was, "Fuck you." I said, "Well, congratulations. You can participate in constitutionally protected activity too." And that was the extent of the whole conversation. Literally less than 60 seconds later, I walked off and left.
Have a good day. See ya.
Thank you. Y'all have a great day. Thank you for harassing me. Thank you for allowing them to harass me. Appreciate it. Thank you all.
So let this be the takeaway. This video isn't about hating police, it's about demanding professionalism, accountability, and respect for the Constitution. Too often, officers approach citizens with their minds already made up, looking for compliance instead of truth. And if you don't know your rights, that's where the abuse starts. Recording protects you. Knowledge protects you. Calm and firm resistance to unlawful orders protects everyone. If this interaction proves anything, it's that rights only exist when people are willing to exercise them. Support the channel, share this video, and keep these conversations public, because sunlight is the best disinfectant. And remember, always record your interactions, always know your rights, and never let intimidation replace the law.